talking about hair. It's time to start.
Good evening. The regular meeting of the Wayne Westland Community Schools Board of Education is now brought to order on Monday, June 5th, 2017 at 7 p.m. On behalf of the Board of Education, I would like to welcome everyone. Your attendance this evening reflects your interest in local education and is greatly appreciated. At this time, we have 3 students from Elliott Elementary School to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. So would David, Matthew, and Vivian, is it Effa? Aoife, please come forward.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Okay, if you stay right there, stay right there. Mrs. Hines is going to read your bios that you gave us, okay?
Good evening. My name is Matthew Effa. I am 8 years old and I attend Elliott Elementary. I am in Mrs. Tillerman's second, third grade class. My favorite subject in school is math. In my spare time, I enjoy playing basketball, and when I grow up, I want to play for the NBA or be in the Army. Next, we have Vivian. My name is Vivian Effa. I am 6 years old, and I'm in Mrs. Dixon's first, second grade class. My favorite subject in school is art, and in my free time, I enjoy going to ballet classes and singing Bruno Mars's songs.
Very nice. I like Bruno Mars.
When I grow up, I want to become a doctor. And we have David. I'm David Effa. I am 5 years old, and I'm in Mrs. Howard's kindergarten class. My favorite things to do are to ride my bike and shoot hoops with my brother. When I grow up, I would like to become a kindergarten teacher like Miss Howard or a firefighter.
Very nice. That's neat.
Okay, if you stay right there, Mr. Buckaloo is going to come down and he's going to give you a little something from the Board of Education.
Thank you. Vivian and David and Matthew. Before we do the presentation, can I ask if you brought anybody special with you today? Your mom? And where is she? Hi, Mom. A teacher or a principal? How you do? Well, we're so happy to have you here. We have a certificate in appreciation for what you've done for us tonight. It says award in recognition presented to, and this one is for Vivian Effa for participation in the flag ceremony during the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Wayne Westland Community Schools. Vivian, this one is for you. Matthew, this one is for you. And David, you want to be the kindergarten teacher. There is nothing better that you could do with your life than to become a teacher. I really believe that. So this one is for you, and thank you all for coming and getting us off to such a great start. Okay? Have a good evening.
And someone's going to take their picture.
Mrs. Bowl is going to help you get set up. We'll take a picture of the students out in the hallway there. So
Thank you for coming and joining us today. Okay, moving on to item number 277.17, roll call. Ms. Hines, please.
Mr. Bell,
I'm here.
Mr. Cox,
Present.
Mr. Buckaloo,
Present.
Dr. Weaver,
Yeah.
Ms. Hines here, Ms. Madison excused,
Excuse, yes.
and Ms. Walker.
Present. Let the record reflect that we have, 5 here and 2 excused. Moving on to item number 278.17, recognitions. Dr. Hamala?
Yes, I'm going to ask our Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, John Albrecht, to share our next recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Harmo, Madam President, members of the Board of Education. Each year, North Brothers Ford reaches out to us in an effort to find students that they can sponsor for week-long summer camps or daily summer camps. Students from Stevenson and Franklin are asked to write an essay speaking to the experience. 2 students have been chosen from each school by their principal. And representing Stevenson tonight is the assistant principal, Angie Zaley. Representing Franklin Middle School is their principal, Tracy Williamson. And the students from Franklin are Desmond Kelly and Zaya Thomas. And the students from Stevenson are Daniel Carroll and Hannah Ponzek. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Perry Rue from North Brothers.
Thank you very much for having us tonight, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to sponsor us. We would love nothing more than working with the community, helping the community, and doing things like this with the community. And this is an excellent opportunity for the kids. They've earned this. They were chosen, as Dr. Albrecht said, by their peers. I'm sorry, the faculty and over at their schools, and we hope they have a blast. And we've got some kids that have really earned it, as I said, and they're going to have a fun up in Oscoda, up at camp, and get to do some swimming and some rafting and crafts and meet new people and have a great time. So again, this is one of the many things we do for the community that we love doing, and we hope they have a great time. I didn't bring them all in with me outside, but we do have some bags, sleeping bags, and some beach towels and all kinds of goodies for them to enjoy their week, and just have to get on the bus and have fun. Well, thank you very much again, and we appreciate it, and we look forward to next year.
Thank you. We appreciate the partnership.
Thanks.
Thank you, Perry. Which students are here? I believe Daniel. You want to stand up, Daniel? From Stevenson, and from Stevenson, that is Hannah Ponzek, right? There, okay. So Perry will meet you outside. We can get some pictures, and you'll get the other stuff that you get for going to camp. Okay? Thank you very much.
Is it just those 2? Is this young lady here too? No?
2 of our students did not
Oh,
make
okay.
it here tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And you're more than welcome to stay, but you also can leave if you need to as well. We won't hold you hostage. Thank you for coming in. So we'll just give them a few seconds to. Okay, moving on to item number 279.17, citizen comments, agenda items only. Seeing none. Moving on to item number 280.17, consent agenda. At this time, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Madell,
Support.
supported by Mr. Cox. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaroo?
Yes.
Dr. Reaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Madison's excused. Ms. Liddell?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes. Let the record show 6-0. Moving on to item number 281.17, review and approval of human resource items. Mrs. Bowl.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Harmala, and members of our listening audience. Tonight, I have the pleasure of recommending for your approval the placement of Dr. Lawrence Rudolph as principal at John Glenn High School. Dr. Rudolph is currently serving as a Tier 3 principal in the Baltimore County Public Schools, where he has been employed since 2014. Previous positions include the Executive Director of Principal Support for the Baltimore City Public Schools and Principal for the Hartford County Public Schools. Previous Michigan assignments include an Assistant Principal for the Rochester Community Schools and Assistant Principal for the Detroit Public Schools. Dr. Rudolph is a certified elementary teacher. He holds a K-12 administrative certificate and also a central office certificate. He has a bachelor's degree in business management, a master's of art degree in teaching, and an ed specialist degree in educational leadership, and he also holds a doctorate degree in educational leadership and organizations.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Madell, supported by Ms. Hines. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Madison is excused. Ms. Madell?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes, and Ms. Walker?
Yes. Let the record show 6-0. Congratulations. If you like, you can come to the mic and have a word.
Dr. Harmalab, Madam Board President, rest of the board, thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to taking John Glenn to higher altitudes as we blast off with the rockets. So we're ready to blast off, and I look forward to working with the community and everyone else at the school. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you and
Thank
welcome
you.
to the family. Item B, please.
All right, thank you. Due to a declining enrollment, our K-12 education program continues to decline, necessitating a reduction in staffing. Accordingly, I'm asking for approval of the non-renewal of 3 instructional contracts as outlined on pages 34 through 35. All 3 of these teachers will be recalled to a partial assignment.
At this time, I'll take a motion. Moved by Mr. Cox, supported by Mr. Buckaloo. Any discussion? Okay, I'll take a roll call vote.
Hines, yes. Ms. Madison is excused. Ms. Madell?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 6-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 282.17, review and approval of educational service items. Mr. Albright.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the Board of Education, those in attendance. We have periodically updated our board and community on the progress of the restructuring program at Tinkham. We've been following 4 specific data points. Tonight, I'll add a 5th one, and that's graduation. Enrollment on May 5th of this year was 141 pupils as compared to 111 last year. Student success rates are at 58.9% as compared to 57% at the same time last year. This is a decline from the first quarter in this fall, but I will address that a little bit later in this presentation. Student suspension data was at a rate of 1.85 per student last year as compared to 1.59 per student this year. Truancy is still a challenge. Truancy is defined by students more than 10 unexcused absences, but it remains at about 6.8%. However, truancy reporting during the final block of each day is very high. Student survey data indicates that the causes of this dilemma has to do with students needing to get home to take care of their siblings, or get to a job that they're assigned to, or they're trying to participate in after-school activities like sports and so forth. For these reasons, we will be adjusting the school day to start at 7:50 next year rather than 9:15. Finally, graduation from Tinkham indicates that we have significant success. There were 6 graduates in 2015. There were 9 graduates in 2016. And in 2017, there were 42 graduates, which is a 467% increase. We are experiencing some significant success with that program. With that being said, we'd like to talk about the graduation requirements for the program. Data indicates that we have a significant number of students who have left Wayne Westland for alternative programs in Garden City and Plymouth. Many have done so because the diploma requirements differ from those in Wayne Westland's alternative program. One of our goals for our program at Tinkham is to improve graduation rates for both the school and the district. A second goal is to serve the district's need for young people that need an alternative setting in which to succeed. Tonight, we are asking the Board of Education to consider a proposal to allow us to modify the graduation requirements for students who attend Tinkham's alternative high school to reflect the state of Michigan's Michigan Merit Curriculum Diploma requirements of 18 credits. 4 credits in mathematics, 4 in language arts, 3 credits in science, 3 in social studies, 2 in foreign language, 1 credit in PE health, and 1 credit in visual and performing arts. Students could graduate with more, and many will as they opt to attend William D. Ford for CTE classes or have transferred into Tinkham with additional elective credits. The process for transferring to Tinkham from one of our traditional high school deters students from electing to do so for a variety of reasons, including perception that it might be easier. We had developed a rigorous flow chart, and I brought that with me tonight, that defines qualifications for our district students to enroll at Tinkham. The program is defined to meet the needs of the students who struggle in a normal, traditional setting. The change might show these small glitches early. Students may opt to seek fewer elective courses. And there may be some early drop-off in FTE due to early grads next fall, but once we get through the first 2 quarters of next fall, that will level up. That being said, we're asking that a motion be made to set the graduation requirements at the Tinkham Alternative High School equal to Michigan Merit Curriculum requirements of 18 credits. Those are the ones that I spoke before. If I might, I'll review very quickly for you the referral process. We review every single student at each one of our 2 high schools twice a year, and we look for whether or not they're in danger of dropping out. The answer to that question is yes. Then we want to know whether or not they're a second-year student with less than 2 core credits or a third-year student with less than 5 core credits. If the answer to those is yes, then the student must be at least 16 years old on September 1st at the school they're at. Then finally, the parent-student counselor meeting has to occur, and 2 referrals take place before the student actually is allowed to attend Tinkham. So students who are normally successful in the high school wouldn't fit any of those qualifications and wouldn't continue through the regular preparation for a diploma. That being said,
Thank you. At this time, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Cox,
Second?
supported by Mr. Buckle. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Okay,
We're-
hold on.
I'm sorry.
Tom raised his hand first.
I didn't hear the hand raise, I'm sorry. My apologies, sir, for stepping on you.
Not at all. So Tinkham addresses a particular clientele, and I can see that you're looking carefully at individual students to see whether or not they're suited for that. And I think that that's a good thing. It's how we've done it in the past, it's how we continue to do it, and so Tinkham is set up with those students who are going to benefit from it. At the same time, it's alternative ed, and those kids going into the program come in there for a variety of reasons. Some of them because of the challenges of academic success, others for other reasons. Very, very capable. I recall just last Friday we were talking, listening to a number of those students who have plans to go on to Schoolcraft or perhaps even to a 4-year institution. So having those electives available to these students is extremely important, and I'm really pleased to see that that's a part of this new curriculum offering. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Mrs.
you, Mrs.
Medill, I
Medill.
apologize.
For what, raising your hand?
Raising my hand quietly.
I just didn't hear the arthritis creak. I know that you've been tracking the kids. Are we gonna, I'm assuming we're gonna continue tracking?
we will
Into the
continue to
future.
do that and continue to look at the program and making sure we're meeting their needs. And
All right. Because my concern is, we've got the problem with the back half. Are we creating a new problem at the front half now? Because again, if it's your job to put little brothers and sisters on a bus or walk them to school, and now we're pushing the time up, is that gonna create problems at home too? So this is that's my only concern, but you're running out of hours in the middle of the day too.
It's a fair one. We do, yeah, and we do have to look at that. One of the considerations was this will also allow students to attend career tech either shift, which we weren't able to do that with the old
Right.
start time. But yeah, we'll continue to track it. So if we end up with a new attendance problem early in the day, then we'll have to revisit that. Yes.
And I give them credit for going to school that early in the morning. I know, as being an older adult, I have a hard time with that early in the morning now.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Mr. Madison is excused. Ms. Madell?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
And Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 6.
Thank you. Motion passes. Moving on to item number 283.17, review and approval of business services and finance items. Mr. Larson Scheidler.
Okay, thank you, President Walker. Tonight, we have the tax levy resolution that is required to be passed by the board in order to send that to the local governments to place the taxes on their bills. You have the 18 mil non-homestead levy on businesses. You have the .9922 sinking fund, and this year we've actually lowered the debt levy to 2.83 mils from 5.56 mils last year. And if there's any questions?
This time I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Madell. Any
Second.
Support by Mr. Buckaloo. Any discussion? Okay, we'll take a roll call vote.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Madison is excused. Ms. Madell?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
And Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 6.
Motion passes. Item B, please.
Okay, thank you again, Madam President. The next item is recommendation from the Secondary English Language Arts Committee to adopt materials from a sole source material from Bradford, Freeman, and Worth. Why this is coming to you is it's above the bid limit of $23,417.
Okay. At this time, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Madell,
Support.
supported by Dr. Weaver. Any discussion? Take a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Madison is excused. Ms. Madell?
Yes.
And Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 6.
Motion passes. Moving on to item number 284.17, resolution of the 2017-2018 MHSAA membership. Dr. Hamala?
Yes, thank you. Annually, we ask your approval to continue our membership in the Michigan High School Athletic Association. The resolution is in your packet on pages 46 through 47. It is for our middle schools and our high schools, and it's the typical resolution you see each year, so we'd ask your approval.
Thank you. At this time, I take a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Madell, supported by Ms. Hines. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Ms. Madell?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Buckaloo?
Yes.
Dr. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Hines, yes. Ms. Madison is excused. Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Let the record show 6.
Motion carries. Item number 285.17, Head Start Monthly Report. Mrs. Madell.
As required by federal law, you are being informed of what is going on with finance, and I am here to answer any questions that you might have about curriculum or anything else that happens at Head Start. They are fully enrolled right now. They are interviewing for next school year, and they're running about 83% attendance rate. This time of the year, attendance starts falling off with the nicer weather. It's a transient population, so, this is the time of year things start moving around. But they're looking forward to their field day, which is their last day of school, which I think is the 13th. So they're now in field day mode.
Okay, thank you. Item number 286.17, Finance Committee Report. Mr. Buckaloo.
Thank you. The following is a summary of the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting of May 25th, 2017. The committee met on Thursday, May 25th, 2017 at 10:20 a.m. Board members present were Tom Buckaloo. David Cox and Fred Weaver were absent excused. District employees in attendance were Michelle Harmala, David Kellmeyer, and Jim Larson Scheidler. The 2017 tax rate request form listing the 18 mills non-homestead sinking fund and debt service was reviewed. The line of credit for the 2017-18 school year was discussed. Based on the district's current fund balance and cash flow projections, it is not necessary to apply for a new line of credit. The current line of credit expires August 2017. Enhancement millage levy collections are currently lower than projected. Wayne Risa is working to determine the cause and resolve the difference. Wayne Risa estimates that the distribution will be $45 per student less than projected. However, these funds should be received in future distributions. Meeting was adjourned at 10:40 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Buccalow. Moving on to item number 287.17, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Harmala?
Yes, good evening. I'd like to take a moment to congratulate all of our students for a wonderful and successful school year. Our seniors graduated on Friday, June 2nd and Saturday, June 3rd, and all ceremonies certainly honored our students and were well attended. All other students, you have 2 weeks to go, so we want to make sure you finish strong. I'd like to thank all of our staff for their work this year as well. Without all of them, we would not be the wonderful school district that we are, and our continued growth and improvement is certainly rooted in all of our staff. As I reflect on this year, I thought I'd share with you some of our successes, and these things continue to move Wayne Westland forward. The John Glenn High School Planetarium, which reopened a year ago thanks to the hearts and the pocketbooks of many community members and alumni, has been used throughout this school year by our students in grades 1 through 5, and we have high school courses, as well as our community. We hosted 2 special evening events called Dinner Among the Stars to pilot ways that we could open the planetarium to the community's use. The events included a dinner prepared by our William D. Ford Career Technical Center Culinary Arts Program and a planetarium show immediately following. Both events were sold out. We are working on establishing dates and online ticketing for the 2017-18 planetarium shows. More to follow. We continue to highlight our William D. Ford Career Technical Center and the numerous programs available to students in Wayne County. We hosted an Oakland University cohort of educators from Saudi Arabia in early May. This cohort is studying the American education system, and we were honored to be able to showcase our career tech ed programs. We also hosted 2 events for legislators and career tech related associations to help them better understand the work we do and our needs relative to serving students to the full capacity of our center. We also hosted Governor Snyder, and we understand that he used a photo of our Electronics, Robotics, and Alternative Energies program at the recent policy conference on Mackinac Island. Our efforts have also resulted in increased revenue for our district related to Career Tech Ed added cost and increases in funding for Career Tech Ed capital expenses. We have a full team in transportation services, including a new director and a supervisor, and we are well situated for a smooth start to the 2017-18 school year. With the passing of the enhancement millage, we purchased 7 of our leased buses after your approval of that recommendation during our December meeting. We submitted our renewal grant for the Upward Bound program at Wayne Memorial High School, and we received a phone call confirming our award for the next 5 years. We are waiting for the formal award letter. We continue to sustain partnerships that serve our students, including the Home Construction Partnership with the City of Westland and the partnerships with our benefactors supporting both the Champions of Wayne and the Scholars of John Glenn programs. We also continue to meet twice per year with our local ministers and our city officials to share information and activities that we believe will be of help to our broader community. We received a positive review in our 31A at-risk funding audit. We are currently reviewing draft administrative guidelines to support the board policies that you adopted last school year. And while this is a time-consuming process, particularly in the midst of our other priorities, we're hopeful we will complete this work by the end of the summer. We're moving forward with the work outlined in our strategic plan and look forward to sharing our instructional plan with you at the last meeting in June. But our achievements to date include an approved countywide enhancement millage and a resulting improvement in our fund balance such that we should be removed from the Treasury's fiscal watch in the fall. The submission of a teacher school leader grant to support our talent development plan. And in collaboration with our associations, we have been negotiating agreeable contracts that move us closer to achieving our goals of competitive compensation for our employees. We are putting in place the steps to engage our stakeholders in a process that will determine how to invest in our facilities to ensure they match our enrollments and align with our instructional plan. And finally, we celebrated many awards this year, including the 17th time we received the GFO and ASBO Certification of Excellence for our transparency and our accuracy with financial reporting. We also received an unqualified fiscal audit, which is the best rating for such audits. Adams, Marshall, Elliott, and Taft-Galloway schools were released from the MDE Focus School list, and Schweitzer Elementary was released from the Reform Office Priority School list. The Wayne Memorial Zebras won the state championship ethics bowl and participated in the national competition. John Glenn High School had individual state wrestling champions, and our students won at the state DECA championship and participated in the national competition. And then just this weekend, the Wayne Memorial High School senior Anivia Battle won the state track championship in the 100-meter run, and she also took second place in the 200-meter run. And these just name a few of our many celebrations for this year. So again, thank you to all of our students and our staff for making Wayne Westland a wonderful district. It's been a busy and a productive year and a satisfying year. And I'd like to wish everybody a rejuvenating and safe summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hamala. Moving on to item number 288.17, citizen comments, non-agenda items. Okay, seeing none. Item 289.17, review and recommendations, Board of Education. Ms. Hines?
I'd like to congratulate all the graduates of 2017. It's been an exciting year, and I know the kids are excited about summer vacation, and we just ask that you just be safe. So we had a great year, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Cox?
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate Dr. Rudolph for his new assignment at John Glenn, and I wish him Godspeed. This evening, the Board of Education approved agreements which allowed students attending Dearborn Schools, Edsel Ford, Fordson, Livonia Churchill, Franklin, Stevenson, Canton, Plymouth, Salem, and Thurston to be able to attend classes inside the Wayne Westland School District. In order for those agreements to be before us, all of those various boards of education had to recognize it was in their students' best interest to come to the Wayne Westland School District to attend classes. Similarly tonight, and I want to thank, through the chair, to John Albrecht for the conversation that we had. The changes that we made at Tinkham, as a practical matter, allow students who would otherwise attend other such programs at local schools to come to Wayne Westland to receive their education. It's my opinion, and the opinion of all these boards of educations, I think that they would be best served here. And I think that was a very positive move for the students that it will serve. And as a parent of a student that needed Tinkham, a student that's now doing heart catheterizations at Leesburg Medical Center, is proof to me personally that in this school district, there is a path to victory. Mm-hmm. Every kid isn't able to graduate at the same pace or to move at the same pace as everyone in their class, but the Wayne Westland District has offered everybody an opportunity to succeed and to win. And I think the results that we're having at Tinkham prove that, and moreover, the dedication. As I watch the graduating students, and it's such a joy to be in the position to be able to stand there and and watch all of them and look at their faces on their day. When I was at the Tinkham graduation, I looked over and I saw a young man, he had a tear in his eye. And I know, as a parent of one of those children, the road that was traveled to get there. And it wouldn't surprise me if 2 years ago he thought there was no possibility that he would be sitting on a stage in a cap and gown receiving his diploma. And yet there it was. And I think it's a credit to the school district, and it's a credit to the dedication of the teachers and the administrators. And anyone who wants to know if it's possible to win in public education, they need to move to Wayne Westland, and they need to come to our school district, no matter how far a drive it is. It's worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. Dr. Weaver?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I had a conversation with my wife a little bit earlier, and she said, "Don't you have a school board meeting tonight?" And I said,
Oops.
they wouldn't dare schedule a school board meeting after Hell Week, but they did, so I'm here, and I apologize for my dress as well. I was so thrilled to see our high school graduates walk the aisle and receive their diplomas. It's always a wonderful time to enjoy with our students. As an item of transparency, I will share with the public that I was not able to make honors nights this year, and I want to be transparent about it because I believe that all board members should be a part of graduation and also the honors nights that we have. So I did want to say that to the public, and that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Weaver. Mr. Buffalo?
Yes, thank you. I'll start by saying hats off to Mr. Cox for your observations. Right on target, sir. Thank you. Thanks to Ms. Griffin for bringing David and Matthew and Vivian to get us off to a fine start with the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Our students always do a great job along those lines. Congratulations to Dr. Lawrence Rudolph for being named president of John Glenn High School. Along with Ms. Walker and Ms. Bedell, I had a chance to meet Dr. Rudolph earlier today and to speak with him. And it looks like he's going to hit the ground running, and he's going to be a real asset to the school and to our district. I'm pleased that he's on board with us. Again, we did graduate the class of 2017. They earned, between students at John Glenn and at Wayne Memorial, almost $8 million in scholarships. That's tremendous. That's exciting. And as good as that was, I couldn't help but think that, the class of 2018 is up next. And thinking about our strategic plan, so too is the class of 2030. They'll be entering kindergarten in the fall.
Thank you, Mr. Buffalo.
For those of you who dye your hair, you better get some more dye because we've got some stuff happening in the future. What can I say? This is our last meeting before summer break, so I'd like to take an opportunity to say to everybody, enjoy your summer, make it a safe summer, and we'll see you again in the fall. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
Are you done? Like you said, we get a chance to meet Dr. Rudolph. I had to scoot out, so I didn't get a chance to talk with him as much as I would have liked to, but I felt it was more important for parents to get a chance to know him, and they were beginning to come in as it was time for me to leave, because I needed to scoot over. If you remember last board meeting, we voted on who we wanted as our votes cast for RESA School Board of Education. So I ended up getting stuck being a canvasser again and counting ballots. So it was an interesting because there were 3 people running for 2 positions. And biggest vote getter was Mary Blackman. And the second vote getter was Danielle Funderburg, who is on school board in Romulus. And coming in last was Annie. What's her name?
Annie Carter.
That's right, Annie Carter, who used to be in Detroit on their school board. So they will take office soon, and the next RESA meeting, they will have a little celebration for Ken Berlin, who is leaving office. Sitting through graduation, I was very pleased with the speeches that I heard from the students. They were very wise for being that age. I don't know that I was that wise at that age. I don't know that I'm not wise some days now. But it's been 50 years since I graduated from John Glenn. Yes, it's been there that long. And I was so pleased to know that in the 50 years that I've been gone, that the quality of education has excelled. Most people stop and think about the good old days where everybody came from, lived in Beaver Cleaver Town. And as our neighborhoods have changed, our demographics have changed, our economy has changed, it's nice to know that our education system has moved on and provided an excellent education to our students, regardless of whether they live in Beaver Cleaver Town or if they live in another area. So it was a very, very sentimental time at graduation this time for me. Having the privilege of being a retired person, it means I can sit at home and watch the spelling bee during the day. And again, not unlike going to the spelling bee down in Detroit, it's a very humbling experience knowing that these kids are such great spellers. But again, able to have another winner declared. This time, there was not 2 people that they ran out of words the last couple of years, so they've had dual winners. This year, there was just 1 winner. So again, I look forward to next year's spelling bee and all the little competitions that we have in each one of our buildings to come over to Adams to the Earl Sherbagian spelling bee. I look forward to it every year. And I want to thank Dr. Harmala for allowing us to have a school bus for the parade. And I also want to thank our bus driver, Justine, for volunteering to drive. Most people don't know that those bus drivers do volunteer their time away from their families during the holiday weekend to come and drive the parade. We've been through rain, we've been through horrible heat, and this year the weather was just right. And every single one of those little kids, again, managed to make the long route from the Wayne Ford Civic League all the way to the library. And that is the longer route, because the other route to Wayne is a little bit shorter. And every single one of them made it. So I'm not too sure I could have, but they did. So again, I'm so proud of our students, whether they're walking in parades or walking across the stage to get their diploma. I'm very proud of them.
Thank you, Mrs. Medill. I just want to say thank you to David, Matthew, and Vivian Effa for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I also just want to say that we as a board and everyone in this room, we're family, and sometimes life happens. So with that being said, and not saying too much, I just want to say that our thoughts are with the Madison family. I also would like to say thank you to each and every one of you for coming out and spending your time with us. And I also want to say have a safe and productive summer. And please, my hope is that everyone returns to us safely and in one piece and read something. And at this time, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We are adjourned.